I once visited the Hokitika Gorge 6 years ago, and I thought, let's go back. At Hokitika Gorge, you can do a great walk that will seriously let the word wow drop out of your mouth. This turquoise wonder is a remarkable river, though sometimes nature has a will of its own and decides to not give you the turquoise, but will give you the milky grey colour. It's still a really cool, easy walk of 2 kilometers, which takes less than an hour. We are travelling down south to have a look at the Franz Josef Glacier. Let's go to Doc for some more information.
My name's Chris. I work here with the Department of Conservation in Franz Josef.
Do you know why the glacier rivers are mostly like this blurry turquoise?
So they would refer to that as glacier milk or rock flour. As the glaciers are moving down the valleys, they're kind of grinding things beneath them. And so that kind of fine debris is going to be washing out into the water, and then you will have the light interacting with that and give you that kind of very iridescent turquoise of sorts. So you'll see that in the glacier streams. Certainly quite enticing, beautiful to look at, very invigorating should you take a dip in the pool.
What is mostly causing the glaciers to melt?
There are, around the world, kind of increasing climatic changes that would be affecting all of our glaciers. And again, then it depends kind of, I guess, the setup of the valley that the glacier is in, and what are some of the conditions around it that may be contributing to it. Quite fascinating to see both the retreats and the advances, believe it or not, in the last, I'd say, century, or 5 decades. So it is quite impressive.
The glacier has a cyclic pattern of retreating and advancing, which is driven by the amount of snowfall. The retreats of the glacier are truly terrifying. Since the 18,000s, the glacier snow has retreated more than 3 kilometers, which has left New Zealand shocked. In 2020, local scientists created a diagram showing on how much and how fast the glacier was retreating. At one of the walks, a sign from 2010 is asking the question, will the glacier look like this in 2100? Well, here we are in 2021.
Climate change certainly is going to be influencing things. Yes. So I mean, over the last thousands of years, really, we've seen both advances and retreats. So some things that we'll be doing here, potentially man-made, would be accelerating it. But it's not to say that it's always going to be advancing, always retreating. There are a number of different factors that are at play. Let's have a few different conditions change in our favor to have it advance again. With the maritime glaciers that we do have, they are potentially going to be showing some of that movement faster than other glaciers around the world. Certainly they are melting a little bit, regrettably a little bit faster than we'd hoped at the moment. The best thing is to really just spread the word and get others thinking about the glaciers, and kind of begin to consider what we might do to preserve such beautiful things for the future generations. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything substantial in the world, but every little contribution does count. So I know that in our township here, we sadly did have a very big severe weather event, I should say, and that washed out an old historical dump. So it kind of brought it to the fore for us, and we began to think of what our environmental impacts may be as a small community. So, like many places in New Zealand, we've done away with plastic bags at the grocery store. And so it's all those little steps that can start to contribute.
And what types of activities can give tourists the most amazing experience?
Well, we have a huge assortment of activities. So some will be fixated or kind of, I guess, enamored by the glacier itself. So you've got heli hikes, you've got scenic flights, you then have all of your kind of, I guess, tramps or backcountry hikes. You've got the front country hikes as well. Then some people don't think potentially about the kayaking. Kayaking is amazing out here. And you won't be kayaking right up next to the glacier, but fortunately for us, it's so prominent in the hills and kind of all the features around that kayaking in Lake Hokitika, you can see the glaciers and the surroundings beautifully. So again, yeah, so we've got kayaking, hiking, and that's overnight as well. You've got heli hikes, you've got helicopters, you've got planes.
Let's say our goodbyes to Franz Josef and head over to the Fox Glacier, where I have been lucky enough to go on a heli hike. At Fox Glacier Guiding, there are many options, such as full-day glacier hikes which go up to 8 hours, a helicopter hike for 3 to 4 hours, and a scenic flight offering you a spectacular tour of the glaciers and mountains, depending on the route you select. All get up, we hop into the bus for a 2-minute ride before we get to the helicopter. During the helicopter flight, you can get an extraordinary view of the beautiful landscape, from the gracious glaciers to the majestic mountains of Fox in France. Taking the Fox Glacier heli hikes also gives you the perfect perspective from above. Fox Glacier is fed by 4 alpine glaciers that receive around 30 meters of snowfall each year. At the top of the glacier, the snow is squeezed into blue ice. The ice slides down the hill on a sort of water slide, created by ice melted under pressure between glacier and valley floor. This, together with the high snowfall at the top of the glacier, makes the Fox and Franz Josef glaciers slide down 10 times faster than other valley glaciers. Here I am exploring the icy blue tunnels, climbing the slippery slopes and conquering the glacier's obstacle course. The hemispheric ocean atmosphere variability causes fluctuations in retreat and advances. But since 2014, the fast overall reduction in length is a clear sign of 20th century warming. A cheaper alternative than the helicopter experience is doing the Franz Josef short walking tracks and the Fox Glacier 2-hour walk with an amazing viewing of the glacier from a distance.